Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I want to put the Muslims on a little bit of game today. You know, a lot of my videos, if it's not coming straight from a book, man, I really be trying to put people on to things that's not talked about or not mentioned. So what I want to try to speak on is Tajweed Class, or Tajweed, however you want to pronounce it. Tajweed Class versus Quran Class, right? And I want to speak on it is because, and I heard a scholar say this, so being that I heard a scholar say it, I'm going to repeat it. Islamic education is turning into a hustle. You know, translating books is turning into a hustle. Not saying that classes shouldn't be taught, and not saying that people shouldn't charge to teach classes. But sometimes people are hustling. For instance, to give you a prime example, Tajweed Class versus Quran Class. Also, Arabic classes where you may be learning Alif Ba Ta. A person can teach you Alif Ba Ta in one day. You can learn Alif Ba Ta in one day. You can have it memorized in 2-3 days. Right? In 2-3 days, then you can have it in 2-3 days. It depending on your class. If your class is a good hour class or a 30-minute class, you can get Alif Ba Ta in one day. You can get Alif Ba Ta in one day with the vowels. You know, your Ab Ba Ta, E B T, U Bu Tu. You can get that stuff in one day for real, maybe 2 days. But some people can drag that out into a week or 2 weeks, perhaps a month, depending on their student and their level of knowing any better. The longer it takes for you to complete a class, the more money they make. Some people intentionally drag things out. You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm going to teach you this today. We only going to learn Alif, Ba, Ta, and Tha. And in class, once you pronounce it, I'm going to sit here and have you write it 50 times. And then we're going to work on that all week. These type of things. And then they just sit there and watch you write. When in that one day, like I said, you can get Alif Ba Ta, Ab Ba Ta, right? E B T, U Bu Tu, U Bu Tu. You can get all that. You can get that in one day. Then you can get it memorized, the whole alphabet, in a couple of days. So my point is, what you can learn in one day, a person might stretch that out in a whole week, 2 weeks. You see what I'm saying? They can have you connecting letters within 5 days. I done seen people be in an Arabic class for a whole month and still can't connect letters. So with your Tajweed class, you sitting in front of somebody and they going like this, whether it's online or in person. Okay, repeat after me. Alhamdulillahir, or Alhamdulillahir. Depending on how they teach you with your R's, how much rolling should be in there. Should it be thin or thick? Right? That's not a Tajweed class. Because if they do that with you, repeat after me, or once you get to the point to connect, they can sit there and just watch you read. read surah such and such. And then they'd be like, oh, okay, you did good. But you may not have. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't know Tajweed rules, but you getting charged to sit there and do that. If you learn the Tajweed rules, what do you need them for? Because now you can read the Quran without them having to sit there and listen to you. Tajweed rules, you could sit in class a good month, 2 months, 3 months, right? Good 3 months your Tajweed could be, we talking about real Tajweed, right? And I'm going to show you what I mean. A good month, 2 months, well, like class, good month of class. 2-3 months of you practicing it and getting it down good while you by yourself. 3 months, your Tajweed could be pretty good if you got a good teacher. A teacher might milk your Tajweed class out for 6 months. The longer it takes for you to do a class, the more they're getting paid. This is the hustle. Case in point, you get your Qurans, right? It's my memorization Quran, so I like to get a real big one, right? When you go to the back of your Qurans, you have a Tajweed Quran. Let me get a little close. It breaks down the color code, the color codes. One of the color codes, right? You see your green dot right here, your green dot, and then you got your 2 blue dots. I'm mentioning these 2 because how you could tell when you listen to somebody with your green dot, it's an indication when you should be nasally, as some people say it, which is, I'm going to read what it says. Indicates nasalization, which is the sound that comes out of the nose. It continues as long as 2 vowels. The beauty of it is I like that they use the term 2 vowels, not 2 letters. So your vowels might be e'u. If it's on top of an aleph, it might be a or u. So some people don't actually, not only do they not be nasally when these letters is there, they don't be nasally for 2 vowels. But they're in a Quran class thinking that it's Tajweed. Another indication where I show like the dark blue and then like the regular blue. One of them, like it says, it indicates the emphatic pronunciation. That's the darker blue. The light blue indicates the unrest letters and the echoing sound, which some people refer to as the calcula. And I done heard people try to explain the calcula, but that's neither here nor there. So you'll see like some of your R's. Some of the R's be darker blue than others. Some people taught that all your R's you supposed to roll them like rrr, rrr. But then when you listen to some recitations, you'll notice all the R's aren't rolled, but some of them have more emphasis on them. I even heard a person who told me that a Quran teacher told them that the dark blue letters, the darker blue, which I understood what they was trying to say. The darker blue is on certain letters because it emphasized something that's connected to Allah. And their case in point was Rahman, Rahim. Some of your color-coded Qurans, those are darker blues. But do it mean you shouldn't roll them as heavy? Or should it have to roll like when you saying, because Rabbi, which has a slight roll in it, that's a lower, so that also has an emphasis on Allah. but they aren't the same color blues in some color-coded Qurans. So my thing is, if you learn those things, you can sit down and read the Quran by yourself. So the difference is a real good month, strong month of Tajweed class where they actually, and even in your Tajweed Quran, let me show you this before I show you a book. In Arabic, it has a whole lot of breakdowns of the color codes and different things like that, right? Little exercises and practices, but just for the sake of time, right? And it has some of the things where people try to talk to you about. So like there's the color code in Arabic, right? And then right here, where your tongue should touch your teeth. So if you understand some Arabic or you learning the Arabic language, you could just get your Quran and go look at that stuff and look at the color code, or go turn your pages some more until you get to the English, like I showed you, and learn these rules and practice them, right? And then you don't have to pay somebody to sit there and go, repeat after me. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, because you'll be able to do it on your own. Now, once you start to go to memorization, you memorize for some time, then you take you some money and hire you a teacher for like a month and let them check your memorization. And then if you have some mistakes in there, they can correct those mistakes, as opposed to you sitting with somebody however many days a week for a month, for months on end, repeating after them or just reading your book to them. So when you sit in a Tajweed class, they should be busting you down with a book like this. When you learn a real Tajweed, right? And you learn it like where I'm speaking on things like this right here. Like chapter 7, right? Page 44, which this has some relevance, right? I like to put the Muslims on, man, trust me. So like for instance, rules of the Ra, what we call the letter R. You see right here where it has, I hope this isn't backwards, but right here it has thinness or thickness. Right? Thinness or thickness. Then it'll give you the rules of thickness. How heavy the R should be, or R, 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 R. Anyway, thinness, thickness. Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 pages on rules of just the Ra. This is Tajweed. Then it gives you a chart of thick or thin. This is learning Tajweed. That's 5 pages. When you come on this page right here, where it says rules of Ra, where both thickness and thinness are allowed, 1, 2, 3 rules, along with something that's similar. Right here. So that's 3 rules, right? But then right here, you look at the rules of Ra as a letter of lowness, thinness. 1, 2, 3, 4 rules. So far, that's 7 rules on the letter Ra. right? So that, like I said, 4, 3, and then when you come to the very beginnings, like I said, 4 rules on thinness, right? 3 rules on when you could use thin or thickness, where it's a choice or whatever. Hold on, I don't want to use my own words. Where both thickness and thinness are allowed, right? 3 rules on that, 4 rules on thinness, and then 5 rules on thickness, right? The following are the rules to pronounce the ra with elevation or thickness. Then it goes, if the ra has a fatha, tanween, dhamma, tanween, all these different things. So if you take these 5 rules plus the 4 rules, that's 9, then the 3. How many rules do you have? That's 12 rules. Just on the letter Ra. When you sitting in a Quran class and they calling it Tajweed, you're not learning this. So you might end up pronouncing every single Ra the same. So when you go and look at your dark blue color, your light blue color, and then you're able to look at your book, your color-coded Quran, because the colors is affiliated with Tajweed. You know what I'm saying? Not only do they got the Ra, they got the rules of the Lamb. This is 12 rules that a lot of people who tell me they sitting in Tajweed class, they don't even know it's 12 rules to Ra. That's not Tajweed. But when you learn this, you don't have to sit down and repeat after them. We know that Baqarah is the longest surah. Just imagine how long somebody had to sit in a class just to completely read Surah Al-Baqarah with a teacher. And still not learning Tajweed rules. That's the hustle. The longer you're in class, the more money they make. Learn your Tajweed rules, and then you don't have to sit with a teacher and read to them while you pay them to listen to you read. Now, yes, in the beginning, get you a teacher, get your Tajweed rules, and then make sure you're doing them right and make sure you sound right, and take off. Take off. You see what I'm saying? And then they might have you put some headphones on and listen to somebody they feel like, if they say favorite reciter, because the tone of their voice is nice. But if you can't follow along, you won't catch these rules. So that's what I'm saying, where certain things is being turned into a hustle. Your money would be better spent in a Tajweed class and an Arabic class. Because those 4 or 5 months that you sit down learning, I'm not going to say learning, that you sit down reading to a person who learned by reading or following behind somebody else that still don't know Tajweed rules, you could be learning the Arabic language and a Tajweed rule, and as the Arabic language come in, now you will be understanding the Quran as you read it. There's the hustle. Get your Tajweed together. Read with a teacher for, a good month. Then take 3 months off and continue to read with yourself and memorize, and then get you a teacher for a month and have them check your memorization. You see what I'm saying? Then go memorize some more. Then get you a teacher again for another month and have them check your memorization. Instead of, as opposed to you sitting down with a teacher for 6 months straight, an hour a day, half hour a day, 3 days a week, 2 days a week, whatever it is, 6 months straight, you're reading the Quran to them, and they saying, okay, yeah, that sound good. Repeat after me. You ain't learned no Tajweed rules for real. They might have said, do this with put your tongue on your teeth, pronounce, do this, put your finger on your throat right here, and then do this. But they not telling you exactly what the rules are. Then you do this with them for 6 months, and after that 6 months is over, you still don't understand no Arabic from the Quran. You haven't memorized anything with them, and you still don't know the Tajweed rules. And as you listening to them, you will know how they doing being nasally when it comes to the noons and the memes, which is Tajweed rules. Your dark red colors, where like your dark red indicates necessary prolongation. 6 vowels of each is about a half of a second, not a whole second, right? Then your blood red indicates obligatory prolongation. 5 vowels if it comprises non-stop prolongation, separate, and major link. So a lot of people know when they see a little wavy line, they're going to hold that for, some people the majority of the people that I've heard say you hold it for 6 seconds. When you look at the rule, it'll say 5 seconds. But look at this. But when you see the orangish red color, that indicates permissible prolongation 2, 4, or 6 vowels. So when you understand the difference, and this is just permissible, you can hold it for 6 if you want to. You can also hold it for 2, or you can hold it for 4. But a lot of us have been taught with these particular colors and these lines, this automatic 6 seconds, mandatory. So if somebody don't do it for 6 seconds, because they understand it could be done for 2 seconds, 4 seconds, or 6 seconds, people will try to correct them. But then when you look at it, like I said, when it comes to the red color, it's 5 vowels. Like I said, I'm trying to rush through this video. I don't want it to get too long. But the point is, people will try to correct you on things that they're not sure of because they don't know Tajweed rules. When you learn in the Arabic language, like you look at a lot of students who went overseas and went to the university, they get put in the Arabic program first. They go to the masjid and have to sit with the kids at the masjid in a Quran class. A lot of them end up there, right? But they'll say, as we learn in the Arabic, after some time, Ramadan come, now we in Tajweed, and we actually understanding a lot of it. That's why I'm saying learning Tajweed in an Arabic class will serve you better than to spend 6 months sitting down giving somebody your money just to read to them. And then they not even really teaching you no Tajweed rules. You will get pretty good, and a lot of you will become better than the average learning the rules of Ra. Because like I know this, and because I was taught this way. I was told this way by somebody who never sat in the classroom, that was told by somebody else. When it comes to the Ra, every single Ra, you roll all of them. And then they even said something like it got to have like a 2-second roll. So let's say, for instance, you saying a stock for law. They roll in every single Ra. Some of it with too much Ra. Rahman, Rahim. I know people that recite like that. So learn Tajweed when they busting you down a book like this. Look at your color code in the back of your Quran and practice those letters. And then I'm going to give y'all a good jewel that's for free, which I had the creator of it. I was actually in his Quran class. And this is how I got a hold of it. If you don't know what to look for, you don't know it. And it's free right on the internet. You go to, you see where it say up there? I hope it don't look backwards. But it's Quran WBW, word by word, right? Quran wordbyword.com. You get this app for free, right? So look, it just loaded. It looked like it's loaded on Maida, but this is how it works. Look, you could just touch any word.
الذين,
right? Touch any word.
الذين, يا أيها,
and it'll help you pronunciate. And then you can also play the whole ayat.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا أوفوا بالعقود أحلت لكم بهيمة الأنعام إلا ما يتلى عليكم غير محرم.
And then you can pause it throughout the ayat, and then you can put the ayat on repeat. So instead of having somebody read it to you and then you repeat after them, but again, even doing it this way, you're not going to get the Tajweed rules. And then you could pick different reciters. There's even a classroom mode where a teacher is going through it and then a whole bunch of kids repeat after him, and you can follow along with that. So you can touch it down every word.
Ya ayyuha.
And then you can play it by ayat, and you can put it on repeat. So this
Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu.
Pause it, work on it.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا.
You can slow it down to your pace. Like you could go in the setting, change the speed, and this is for free. You go to Quran WBW.com and just download the app. You can put it on your phone. I got it on my phone. I got it on my laptop, and you can practice. There's different reciters. You can pick the reciter you want. They even have a reciter that recites in hold on, let me show y'all real quick. I don't want this to get too long, so I'm just gonna show y'all right with a different type of recitation. So like what I'm doing right now, this is called Murata. What y'all was listening. Now I'm going to switch it to what's called Mujawud. Now watch when I click play in Mujawud. So it's slowed all the way down. You can pick different styles, and you can learn from that and follow along with your book, or make your letters big and you can follow along. You can follow, like I make my screen and make the letters big, so I can follow along with that. And then you could pick word by word where it'll break it down and give you the translation, the best English word that they could come up with to translate it. And then also you can have it where how it's translated in your Quran. Like you could pick the Quran you want, the Noble Quran, the Clear Quran, Sahih International, Yusuf Ali, whatever their translation is, but it'll have the word by word, like right here, the best word that they could come up with in English. You see what I'm saying? With your word by word. Because then you'll notice sometimes the way they translate the verse is translated in a way where they want you to be able to understand what the verse is telling you, not necessarily word by word. So that's why you get your word by word, and it'll give you an understanding of what that Arabic word means in English, the closest word that they could come up with. So it has all of that. And you could do every single surah in the Quran, every ayat. You could touch every single word. And it's pronounced real slow with emphasis.
Yutla. 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 Ghayra. Ghayra. Ghayra.
And you could do that until you get it for free. And then follow along in your Quran. That way you could pick up your reading, and then you look at you learn your color code. So like for instance, you get your Quran ayat, pull it up on here, look at the color code, and then keep practicing that one word with the color codes until you get it. For instance, like I open it up, right? And you can see right here, I'll open my Quran up. So right here, here's a sentence with 3 colors in it. A dark green, a red, and then some blues. It's kind of hard to see in here, right? Like even, because the way I'm holding it up, so you find you something where it got some red and some blue, different colors in one line, and then you keep practicing that. But you use it through this. You pull that same ayat up on here and keep touching that.
بهيمة الأنعام إلا ما يتلى.
And it's for free. Quran, wbw.com. And then, like I say, even if you want it, like this is a real good book on Tajweed. You know, but sometimes you still need somebody to listen to you in the beginning to make sure you're pronouncing it right, or you getting at least close. You see what I'm saying? You make sure you're getting at least close. Another excellent book, which helped me, and the crazy part was I had this book like maybe 9 years, but because I knew Aleph Bata, I thought this book was beneath me. And when I got to the point where I ended up in some real classrooms and found out I wasn't what I thought I was, they bust this book down out in front of me, and it changed everything for me. Everything. I was like, wow. And I tripped off myself because I knew a little Aleph Bata, and I was doing that little stuff, transliterating the Aleph Bata myself and all this other stuff, because I started with transliteration. This changed everything for me, especially when I'm in a classroom and then they got me going through it, and then I'm in there with some foreigners, you know what I'm saying, and they running through it while I'm sitting there looking at myself like, yo, they stunting on me. But it was alhamdulillah for me, because I needed that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes us as Americans, man, we need to be told the truth. We not who we think we are. You understand? And so these 2 books, so like I said, man, I'm trying to save people some money, because people is hustling. People dragging them out through classes. And they're longer. And then sometimes they won't really correct you because they don't want you to feel some way and not allow them to be your teacher anymore. So they'll let you be incorrect because they don't want to get fired. You see what I'm saying? And your American dollar goes a long way overseas. They eating over there. And like I say, some of them can tell you that they're Hafid of the Quran and really don't be. You get what I'm saying? And like I say, 6 months, you can sit in a classroom and read to a person online. Don't learn no real Tajweed rules. Not really memorizing anything. They may help you, or help you with some short surahs in the back and then tell you to memorize it. So it's possible you might get a couple of short surahs in the back. And by you not taking any Arabic language, you're not understanding any of it. With the Fusha, like I say, listen to the students who go in and they get put in the Arabic class first. They don't get, when you go to the Islamic University, you don't get put in a Quran class first. You get put in an Arabic class first. Or you get tested to see if your Arabic is strong enough for you to go off into a science. And then they go to the local masjids and sit with, from people I listen to, they end up in little kid classes. Or like people I know who done went to Egypt, some of them won't admit it, And they want to make to the Americans like, yeah, I'm over here studying Quran and this and that. But they be in class, man, with 5-year-olds and 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? This Egypt, this is Saudi. This is even in Africa. You know what I'm saying? I even listened to a person who's a scholar now saying that when he got to Mauritania, now keep in mind, he done had a whole bunch of Quran memorized. And he get to Mauritania thinking he nice. Man, they had him in a class. And you know, he older. He was in his 30s or something like that at the time. They put him in the classroom with little kids that's 5 and 6. Said the little kids asking him questions like, what was you doing as a little kid that you didn't learn Quran? Like, even when you listen to people like Mufti Muhammad, where they speak on a lot of them, like, man, yeah, you get overseas, you think you got all this Quran memorized, and then they put you in a classroom with little kids, and they laughing at you trying to recite Al-Fatiha. While the little kids laughing at you recite Al-Fatiha. That's the reality. And then some of these people who will be overseas in a little kid classroom getting laughed at and getting corrected by the teacher so much that they quit and get over there and get to struggling. And then they get a couple of Americans, you know, yeah, let me teach you this class, man, and make a living off of you. You know what I'm saying? And then they just keep prolonging it, dragging it out. You know, alhamdulillah, like I say, I don't knock it. And a lot of the foreigners, man, in India, a lot of the Egyptians, they know how to get them set up something, Skype, Zoom, you know, WhatsApp, and hit you up on Facebook, and, you know, and reel in that big fish. And don't even be that nice like that. So I'm just giving y'all a few tools, man, where y'all could get to, you know, yeah, you know, you don't have to sit down with a person for 6 months and just keep reading to them every day. For money. For money. You know what I'm saying? And you still don't have no nasal sound on your noon. You rolling the wrong R's. You don't even know the Tajweed rules of R. Just like I done showed, just right here in this book. I showed there's 12 rules. There's 5 rules to thickness, 4 rules to thinness, and then 3 rules to where thick and thinness, or thick or thinness, is permissible. And then when you look at your rods and see they color code in there, whether it's a heavy dark blue or just a regular blue, you're able to look at the back and see how you supposed to do that. Sometimes you're not getting that. I've sat in classes with people and wasn't getting that. Some of them I was getting overcharged because I didn't know no better and was getting dragged. And then I was in some where I had some good teachers, man, that was really sincere, that already had money and they was just doing it for the love. And you really was giving them a little bit of nothing, and they was really giving you the real rules. Even the rules of prostration. Prostrating, having you prostrate when they come, then they'll recite the dua of prostration. Whether it was, you know, an authentic one or not, and this, that, and the third, which that's neither here nor there, but, you know, you have some to make sure you in wudu. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done had online classes where if I didn't have on at least this and a keffiyeh, we couldn't start class. If I had on like a little hoodie dress, I wasn't like, hey, you a student, man, you gotta dress like a student. I done been in classes where, you know, it's about 50, 60 of us. You know what I'm saying? So, and then they on site. So it's like, where it's set up, it's like 50, 60 of us online, but in the actual classroom, it's like maybe 20, 30 students in there. And, you know, we had to go through the rigmarole. So I done had some good teachers, I done had some bad ones. I'm just gonna be honest. I done had some that milked me because I didn't know any better early on, and then I done had some that was so reasonable. They were so reasonable, and I was used to getting juke, and I was benefiting. Wallahi, I would give them extra money and be like, a poor family, what it costs to feed their family for the month, and I'll give that money to them. Or when Ramadan come, wallahi, when Ramadan would come, I would ask them, for y'all, because they overseas, so the American dollar goes far. I would feed the whole masjid, do the iftar for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Pay for all the food and pay the person who has to cook it, and feed the whole entire masjid Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for iftar. And I would do it 2 weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because they were so reasonable with me, and they was really teaching me for real, and I had been ripped off. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, I'm, zakat, sadaqah, and showing my appreciation. They didn't even want the money. They was cool. Like, man, my sister and their family could use it, or my neighbors and them, they got 8 people in their house. You know what I'm saying? Like, a whole family, 8 family members, I fed them for the whole month with $40 American. So, every month I would feed them because there was a good teacher, and we doing Arabic, and they giving me the jewels that I'm giving y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's just the only thing for me is a lot of my classes had to be at 3 in the morning, 4. Even right now, a lot of my classes at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Even my classes with sciences and stuff, because they're overseas. To where I'm with real teachers that, in Egypt that teach in Azhar University, like real professors with PhDs. Like they, in the daytime, they go and teach at Azhar University. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning from them, but in order for me to do my class with them, because they teach in the day, on the weekends, it's like 1, 2 in the afternoon, or a little earlier, 10, 11, but it's like 10, 11 o'clock at night for them. So, but they getting that paper though, and they doing what they got to do, you know what I'm saying? And they helping me, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to give people that little bit of a jewel, man, and inshallah I'll be of some benefit to the people. I'm just tired of seeing people getting ripped off, man, and people using Islamic knowledge, man, as a hustle, and they hustling other Muslims. So this is just a little jewel, man. Hopefully it'll help y'all get you a good Quran, color coded, and read the color codes in the back. Even get you a small book. You probably can get these on PDF. These just books I have for years. They probably got them on PDF by now. Look at the Tajweed rules. It even got the thing with the mouth chart and where your tongue should be on your teeth. All that is in there. Little books like this help yourself in reading the Quran, and you will benefit. Guidance comes from Allah. And then, get you somebody, if you want to pay somebody who really thorough, pay them to make sure that you pronounce it. Because sometimes with these books, like I said, the pronunciation still might be a little Americanish. So get you somebody for a little bit. But my whole thing is, what you can get out of them in 2 weeks, if you're not careful, they can milk it out and be charging you for 6 months what you can learn from them in 2 weeks. You understand? And that's the jewel I'm trying to give y'all. And although it may not seem like a lot of money because it's American money, but the prices is getting steep. Some of us is paying outrageous prices. Yes. Especially for the time that we're getting. Trust me, I know. Some of us is paying, and that's because some people want to hire teachers and still eat. So they charging astronomical prices to have somebody else teach you, and then they get them a portion of that money, and you getting milked out. The longer they keep you in class, whether you paying every week, every 2 weeks, or every month, the longer they can keep you in class, the more money they get off of you. Unfortunately. And these is ways to, like I said, you get your Tajweed together, you don't have to sit up and have them listen to you read every day or however many classes it is. You can read by yourself. Then once you start to going into memorization, into like bigger surahs, longer surahs, it's cool to get somebody to check your memorization. But you don't have to do that for 6-7 months. It take you a month to memorize for a whole month, and then pay somebody to listen to you for 2 weeks. Memorize for a whole month again, and then pay them to listen to you for 2 weeks, or for a weekend. Let me hire you for a weekend, a couple of hours, and let me run through everything I done did. Save yourself some bread. And then, like I say, get you one of these here, go to Quran, wbw.com, and get that app. It's better than what's on Google Play. And it ain't even on the Play Store. Like I said, the person who teaches the class designed this app. And I paid to get in the class. And after we was in the class on the second semester, when you make it to the second semester, they tell you how you can get the app. Know what I'm saying? They tell you how you can get the app. And I was paying $75 per semester for this course. So basically, after I spent $150, I'm in my second semester. After I got my $150, they put us on to this app. So this app cost me, this right here, what I'm telling y'all for free, I paid $150 to learn about it. I paid $150 for what I just gave y'all for free. And it's free on the internet. You see what I'm saying? But Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And y'all have to forgive me, man. I like to put the Muslims on. So a lot of my videos may seem controversial, or I'm speaking about stuff that may be considered taboo. But I like to be honest, man. And I'm not saying this like I'm a perfect person, like I don't have flaws. I'm not trying to come from that type of position. But I just don't like seeing Muslims taking advantage of other Muslims because they don't know any better, or because they feel some type of way about, we just gonna be honest, they just feel some type of way about people of color, especially Muslims of color. Like, you know, it was a time in our city, if you run around there like this, where the foreigners got stores where they selling pork, alcohol. Right now today, you go in there, they got weed hung up on the mirror, pinned up, all these different weeds you can get. You can get the Snoop Dogg marijuana, the Nipsey Hussle marijuana. They even had that fake cocaine powder that people was tooting, that was made out of bath salts. They selling that, alcohol and everything, and I'm not judging them. But if I went in there dressed like this, because they also have, you know, halal chicken and stuff in there too, so I go in there to get some chicken or something. If I was dressed like this, they would say I was making fun of their culture. They try to talk me out of wearing what's legislated, because they hate, you know, one of them just gave them the truth. They hate to see black people. When they see a black person dressed like that, it's a reminder to them of how much they fell off. So they'll tell you insulting their culture so that you will take it off. And it don't make them look so bad by not having it on, while they in there selling a whole bunch of pork and alcohol and tobacco products, even to underage people, and marijuana and K2 and, you know, bath salts that you could toot up your nose, a million different vapes. And at one point in time, you go in there because they got the bulletproof glass. Because, you know, we in Illinois, Jack. they had a bulletproof glass. So back in the DVD and CD era, they would have like, they sold basically porn. They sold DVDs of porn. So they would have pictures of the porn, whatever the name of the porn movie is. You know, like how CDs and movies come with a cover. They would have the cover of the porn on the window. So it might be a girl having oral sex, a man having oral sex. Now keep in mind, or you know, unfortunately they even had gay porn. So it might be a man with another man, but they have candy in here also. So little kids coming in there to buy candy, and they can see right up on the bulletproof glass all this weed, but they can also see pictures of two men having sex, a woman giving oral sex. But they'll say you insulting their culture by having on those. So, you know, I just hate to see it, man. So I just like to put the Muslims on, man. And, you know. So hopefully, man, this will benefit some people, man. You know, assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.